Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to add a login, logout functionality to our application, and then going forward, we're going to restrict actions that users can perform based on whether they're logged in or not logged in. Currently, we have users sign up using username, email, and password when they create an account. So we're going to use a combination of email and password to implement the login system for our application. So the first thing to do would be to create a login form and display it. And the route of the form should be something like this, /login, which currently we don't have a route for. Now, this is not really a resourceful route. Logging in is not really creating a resource of any kind. It's not really hitting the database. All we're doing is simulating a user in a logged in state and a logged out state. So for that reason, we're going to manually build the routes. So back to my IDE, I'll go to my config routes.rb file. Over here, I'm going to do get login, and I'm going to send this request to a controller and an action. And the controller, I'm going to name sessions, and the action will be new. So sessions controller # new. Save that. Now if I reload, uninitialized constant sessions controller. So let's go build the sessions controller. App, controllers, right click, new file. We'll call it sessions_controller.rb. Okay, class sessions controller, subclass from application controller, end. And we already know that we're going to have a new, and new action is simply going to render a form, and the form submission is going to be handled by create. Okay, this will basically start the session and display the user in a logged in state. And then for logging out, we're going to need a destroy, which will essentially stop the session and move the user to logged out state. Okay, so back to our routes. We know login is going to go to sessions controller new action, and then post to login, which will be the create, will go to sessions controller create action, and then we want to handle log out. So delete to log out will go to sessions controller destroy action. Okay, so let's see what paths this gave us. So I'll open a new terminal, cd code, Rails projects, alpha blog, now rake routes. Right here, we have a login path, and then we have a post to the login path, which is the create action, and then we have a logout path, which is the destroy action. Perfect. So at this point, we're going to build the login form. So scroll down to your views, and we don't have a folder for sessions, so let's create one. Right click, new folder, sessions, and within the sessions folder, right click, new file, we'll say new.html.erb. And over here, we'll give it a title, and we'll simply say log in. Save that. Let's reload this page. Perfect. Now let's build the form. So let's take a look at one of our existing forms. Okay, I'll go to my users, and then, okay, and what I'll do is I will simply copy everything from here. Form 4, right here. So I'm just going to skip the first two divs, which means I have to skip the last two. Command C. Close this. Back to my new HTML ERB. Command V. All right. And then I'll tab all this over twice. Command left square bracket. All right. Now what's important to remember here is that sessions, they are not model backed. This is not a model backed form. Okay. We're simply creating a session and then getting rid of the session. And all that info is going to be handled by a session hash that's backed by your browser. And at no point does it hit the database. And because of that reason, so form 4 will not know what route to create for you. So you're going to have to specify the route. So first thing over here, we're going to do is form 4, we're going to say :session. Okay. Then HTML, this is fine. Class form horizontal, role form, this is fine. But right here, between the close curly brace and the close parentheses, you're going to have to give it the path. So I'm going to say comma, and I'm going to say this form is going to post to URL : login path, close parentheses. That's all you need to do over there. So the first thing, I'm going to change the label to email, since we're going to have users use their email to sign in. And then this is going to be email field. And I'll change to email. Class form control. Placeholder, I'm going to say enter email. Then the next one is going to be password. So I'll say password. Over here, I'll say password field. Password. And then I'll get rid of this placeholder right here, and I will change it to autocomplete : within quotes off. Okay. And that's fine. That's the close of the div. And then I'll get rid of this existing password field that was there. Delete that. And the last one is going to be for submission. So I will simply say f.submit, and I'll get rid of all this. And within quotes, I'll put log in, and then class will be button, button primary, button large. Okay? And the rest can stay the way they are. Save that. Let's see what that looks like. I'll reload the page. Okay, we have a syntax error over here. Seem to have an extra close to a parentheses. Okay, right there. I'll remove that. Save that. Reload the page. Okay, there's my login form. Perfect. And this is going to be submitted to the sessions controller create action. So let's see what form this is getting submitted in. Now you have two options you can use here. If I simply go to my sessions controller and in the create action, I render the new template again. So render new. And over here, if I type in my email address and just enter in password, if I click on login, it's going to render the new template again, but look at the bottom here. I have my session hash here, and the email for the session hash is masroor.hossain@gmail.com, which is the email I entered, and then password I entered as password. Okay, the action is create, so you can see all this info. The other option you have, as we had discussed before, I'll code this out. What we can do is put in a debugger over here, save that. If I reload this page, it pauses the web server, and over here, if I go back to my server terminal, right here, I can type in params, and it gives me all the info from my params hash. And if I type in params, and then open square bracket : session, close square bracket, gives me the value for my email and my password. So to retrieve either email or password, I can do this. Params, open square bracket, colon, session, close square bracket, then open square bracket again, email, colon, email. Hit enter, gives me the email. Same thing, if I do colon, password, hit enter, gives me the password that I entered. So I'm going to hit Control D to release the web server. Obviously, I don't have any code in the create action, so it's searching for a template. But that is essentially how we're going to use the email and the password that's submitted to authenticate users and log them in. And that we'll do in the next video. See you there.